Today we are going to review the interview Chief Iwuanyawu, President of Ohanaeze Ndibo, granted to Arise News, published on March 16, 2024, titled For the Love of Nation, Igbo Not Opposed, Situating Capital in Lagos. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, depending on your time zone. Massive Media welcomes you back to our regular program. We wish to use this opportunity to thank all our viewers, subscribers, and those who always give us thumb up, and those who send their comments. We say kudos to you all. God bless you.
There has been palpable tension in recent times in Lagos over the alleged demolition of property and businesses, mostly owned by residents of the state of Igbo extraction. Marketplaces and other business places around the state, where there are predominantly Igbo businessmen and women, have also reportedly come under one form of hostile intervention by authorities in Lagos under different official guises and pretexts. These unfortunate events have led to untold economic losses on the part of the patrons. Many of those affected by the series of demolitions continue to claim it's all a witch hunt because of their possession of requisite official issued deeds and documents. However, agencies of Lagos State government have been less forthcoming on the reasons behind the continued demolitions. Meetings and co have also taken place between different stakeholder groups interested in the matter. Joining us now to again have a conversation around this matter is Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyawu, who's a politician, businessman, and currently President General of Igbo Socio-Cultural and Political Organization, Ohanaeze Ndibo. Great to have you join us on the morning show, sir. Good morning to you indeed.
Thank you very much, Steve. I'm glad to be with you. Glad to be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always an honor to have you on the show. Let's talk about...
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Let's have your overview of the situation concerning Igbo interest, particularly businesses, structures, homes, etc. in Lagos, given the current wave of demolitions, of notices being served, etc. In Lagos State. I know that you made a lot of visits last year in July, in December. There was even a committee, I believe, that was set up that was meant to kind of serve as an intervention thing to give the whole process a human face. What is your assessment of where we are today, and what would be your keywords to those who have been affected by some of the demolitions going on, sir?
Well, thank you very much. I want to make it very clear, abundantly clear, that Igbos didn't play any part in bringing Nigeria together in 1914. Since 1914, we became one country. Igbos have been very faithful to this union. Lagos was declared our federal capital. All of us, we are called to rally round to develop our capital. Everybody knows the state of Lagos by 1914, when Nigeria became one country. Igbos, in loyalty and in faithfulness and commitment to this country, Nigeria, moved to Lagos, and they made their contribution towards development. Make no mistake about it. Any other part of the country could have been capital. Capital could have been in Port Harcourt, it could have been in Asaba, it could have been in Calabar, it could have been anywhere, but it was Lagos. We didn't oppose it. We could have started opposing it there. No, why should it be Lagos? It's far from us. But as loyal Nigerians, we came in. Igbos came in the normal zeal, in the normal way they operate. They came in, they bought land from owners. When
we
they
also
came,
want to use this opportunity to beg or to plead to all our honorable viewers, both old and new, who have not subscribed to this channel, to do so and share our videos to your friends and loved ones. As you do so, God will bless you abundantly. We wish you happy Easter and Ramadan, depending on your faith. Thank you very much. Our review will concentrate on this comment. I quote, "I want to make it clear, abundantly clear, that Igbos did not play any part in bringing Nigeria together in 1914, unquote. First, this statement came out of the heart of a wounded leader, Chief Iwuanyawu, whose people have not only been pushed to the wall in Nigerian political dispensations, their properties and businesses destroyed by people of same black race, good neighbors, but with different ethnic nationalities, making up British amalgamated Nigeria, some of whom are friends, share apartments in same buildings, schoolmates, church members, working in same offices, that celebrate and intermarry with one another. Despite all this closeness, the wickedness exists among the ethnic nationalities. Chief Iwuanyawu's overview reminded Nigerians of today that what was called British Lagos colony existed, and this was merged or amalgamated with Southern Protectorate in 1906 by Wharton Egerton, the British colonial administrator of Lagos colony and the colonial high commissioner for Southern Protectorate, appointed by British colonial office in London in August 1904. This means that there was a clear contact with the Yorubas of Southwest extraction, with ethnic groups within the Southern Protectorate of Bight of Biafra, such as kingdoms of Benin, Bonny, Brass, Calabar, Igbo, Opobo, Warri, before 1914, when Nigeria came into existence. This time, Mr. Egerton, the Lagos administrator, moved the capital from Old Calabar, capital of Southern Protectorate, to Lagos colony as capital of new Southern Protectorate. This move was because the economy of Lagos colony and the hinterland was very weak and not meeting up with the cost of administering Lagos colony. According to Adele's opinion, one of the British House of Commons member asked to review the Lagos colony project, stated, I quote, "The British occupation of Lagos and the surrounding area, however, had not stimulated the British economy as anticipated," unquote. Adele continued, he stated in his opinion, "This settlement was productive of more trouble than treasure," unquote. But Adele stressed that the importance of trade in Bight of Biafra, where palm oil was produced, than all the British settlements put together, was more beneficial and economically viable, unquote. So, merging of Lagos colony with Southern Protectorate, according to research and evidence, showed that the joining of Lagos was to use the economy of Southern Protectorate to sustain the Lagos and Yoruba colony administrative expenses and financial remittance to London. Again, there was no consultation with the Biafran chiefs and natives before the amalgamation of Lagos colony and the Southern Protectorate in 1906. Further research shows that the move was to aid to develop the poor, impoverished Lagos economy, to avoid serious competition and dispute between local indigenous business traders and the British merchants, of which Igbo local traders were among the majority of local traders in the Bight of Biafra, competing with the British merchants for local products and agricultural produce from Igbo land, that resulted to the establishment of equity court in Bight of Biafra, Bonny, where Jaja of Opobo was in control of most of the wholesale businesses in 1850. This was administered by John Beecroft, former British representative to Fernando Po. Again, in 1856, same court was established in Calabar, the capital of Southern Protectorate, with majority of the members being British. Therefore, Igbo ethnic nationality was alive when Lagos was made capital in 1906 and later in 1914, although they were not consulted during the amalgamation of Nigerian project or establishment. In this interview, Chief Iwuanyawu implicated facts of great importance. Igbos did not take any role in Nigerian establishment in 1914. This shows that there was no direct involvement of the Igbo nation because British colonial administrators avoided them and did not want them either as competitors. They wanted Nigeria devoid of members of Biafra, especially those who had posed trade and administrative competition with the British merchants. No real businessmen from Biafra consented to be puppets to sign sovereign treaties under duress, like those who signed for Nigerian amalgamation, and none of them were invited to sign such treaties. This was the reason why the Igbo nation and other nationalities in Biafran territories, Biafra zone, were not consulted until 1916, when, after the amalgamation, Frederick Lugard invited some of the Southern Protectorate kings for consultation and appeasement. We will look at what treaty is and its consent.
Being applicable to a certain object. In order to be binding under international law, the treaty must be valid. The treaty must be valid. That is, it must under international law, the treaty must be valid. That is, it must comply with some essential requirements. And lacking those essential requirements, the instrument will simply not have entered within the realm of international law. So the issue of the validity of treaties is really to determine whether the instrument that looks like a treaty is somehow entitled to be part of international law and to carry with it the binding force of international law. If the treaty is invalid, the instrument will somehow be rejected out of the international legal order. The instrument will somehow be rejected out of the international legal order. It will be null and void. This would not make the instrument disappear from a material, a factual point of view, and the negotiations leading to it would simply remain historical events that have taken place. The instrument would not be considered as binding under international law. It would not be part of it, and it would remain outside of it.
In signing the treaties that brought about the amalgamation, of which the Igbo nation did not sign any treaty with the British colonial administration. But for those who signed, let us see what the validity is all about.
Bound by a treaty must be genuine and informed. Therefore, the Vienna Convention establishes that consent can be invalidated if it results from an error, this is Article 48, from a fraud, Article 49, from the corruption of the representative of the state concerned, Article 50, or from coercion exercised on the representative of the state, Article 51, or coercion exercised on the state itself, Article 52.
With these articles, one would then understand if the British colonial occupiers obtained their treaties validly. And this was one of the reasons the Igbo nation refused to assent to the treaties the British colonial officers mandated or forced or coerced or manipulated the ordained chiefs to sign on their behalf. Let us conclude this very explanation from the international lawyer on treaty and its defects.
Dwell upon the issues of error, fraud, corruption, and coercion on the representative of the state. Those issues are indeed clearly regulated by the Vienna Convention. They are not conceptually difficult to grasp, and moreover, there is very little, if not no practice in that regard. And this is because states will always be hesitant to confess that they concluded a treaty by error, by fraud, corruption, etc. Alleging any of those grounds is confessing some form of weakness, something that states do not like to do. This being said, Article 52, which is coercion on the state itself, Article 52 deserves a few words of explanation because it reflects in the law of treaties the logical consequences stemming from the outlawry of war. The provision reads as follows, and I quote, "A treaty is void if its conclusion has been procured by the threat or use of force in violation of the principles of international law embodied in the Charter of the United Nations," end of quote. First, the way Article 52 is drafted deserves some explanation. It does not refer to the threat or use of force in violation of the Charter of the UN, but in violation of the principles of international law embodied in the Charter. In 1969, this was to accommodate the presence of parties to the Vienna Convention that were not yet members of the United Nations.
At this very point, one will evaluate the history surrounding the signing of the treaties that was used to colonize the protectorates, to take over the lands, and amalgamate Nigeria in 1914. Today, when we say, if those in Nigerian side, those in the north are saying that your oil belongs to them in the north, that everything you have belongs to them, they want to have political control over you because you are not part of Nigeria. You're supposed to have your own country, you're supposed to fight for your own country, where you have control over your own resources and the political determination of what you want. You do not complain when they control you because you were not invited to be part of the Nigerian establishment. They see you and your grandparents and everything about you as being competitive and equivalent to what they themselves are thinking about. They compete in trade, you compete with them, and thrive effectively. These are the things the occupiers do not want to see. With this, we come to the end of this very program. It is left for those who need to re-establish themselves or renegotiate to be part of the system in Nigeria. Without it, you complain till everlasting because they did not want you. It is you who want to be part of them. Please, we come to the end of this very program. We ask you please to subscribe to our channel, like it, share to your loved ones, and also remember to leave your comment. Thank you very much, and God bless you.